Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Hello and welcome everybody to another day of StarCraft 2. Today we have a special guest with me as well. It's none other than a very, very strong coach in the StarCraft 2 scene. It is Matisse. Am I saying that
Hello.
correctly? I hope I am.
Yep.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for such a nice welcome, man.
Yeah, no problem. You very much deserve it. You are, quite the coach, and you got some nice plays under your belts that you're helping out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's almost entire Alpha X team, so that's pretty cool
Yeah.
that I have opportunity to work with you guys.
Well, we appreciate it very much so as well. And you know what? Without much further ado, it looks like we are gonna just jump right into this one. I'm gonna make you a referee as well, because why the hell not? Oh, I was too slow.
Too slow.
Too slow. It's my problem. It's always been my problem with StarCraft 2.
What's your APM?
You don't even want to know.
Aha, okay,
It's
all
like
right.
I think I'm hovering around 200. That's kind of where I've stopped progressing
That's not
there.
that bad. Not
Hey,
that
but
bad.
that's I mean, thanks for the vote of confidence, but you know what? I still feel like it should be a little bit better. Anyway, game number 1. It will be played on Eternal Empire. In the top right side, we have, in fact, a blue Terran player. One of the strongest Terran players around right now, I'd say. He is a Cure. Dragon Phoenix Gaming. This is team. And in the bottom left side, we have the... You want to actually do another introduction as well, or...?
Go for it. You go for it.
Yeah, alright. So it is the red Zerg player in the bottom left side. He is TSG Solar.
Cool. This is gonna be good match, man.
Yeah, I've heard that they also played in a finals pretty recently. And this kind of is somewhat of a rematch for that one. I do believe that Solar won that engagement, but it was only a best of 5, so you know what? In the best of 9, a
They
lot more can happen.
actually, actually they played I think 2-3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Cure won 3-0.
Really? Alright.
Yeah, it was finals of Kung Fu Cup.
There we go, that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well I got
So
that one backwards.
yeah. So Cure, I mean, he's a beast. He's a beast in these tournaments. I watch a lot of these tournaments, and I think
Mm-hmm.
he's one of the best Koreans right now, at least online.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. To be fair though,
Yeah,
like some of those Korean Terrans, they don't do that many online things. Like
mm-hmm.
Maru, you don't really see online.
True.
TY
Mm-hmm.
maybe, yeah, a little bit more now and again. He streams it as well, so.
Mm-hmm.
And then Innovation, I guess he also kind of. I guess it really is just Maru, isn't it? That doesn't really play that
Yeah,
much.
yeah. I think I saw TY also play a couple recently.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's mostly Maru that is avoiding everything, and that's a pretty smart strategy, right? Because the thing that matters the most by far is GSL,
Mm-hmm.
and these tournaments, obviously, they're nice, they're cool, but you show off a lot of your strategies, your playstyles, your weaknesses. If I was, for example, to prepare against Cure. My players, I would have so much material that I would probably be able to tell everything he's gonna do, right? So
Yeah.
that's always trade-off.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Makes sense. Well, at least I guess Cure might need a little bit more extra income as well, because he didn't win GSL a couple of times in a row.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. Yes. Okay, so we have a pretty big thing happening already. Cure managed to snipe Creep Tumor in the natural, and I think Solar might have even skipped Inject for that. So this is massive because connecting the third base is going to be very difficult, and initial Hellions can deal a little more damage than normal. However, Cure is not really planning to do too much aggression. He's going for 3CC straight after Factory, and that's the most economical build Terran can do. And if Terran survives early game, he is if he's not being all in right now, then he's probably gonna survive, and his economy is gonna be massive.
I've been seeing Cure do this more often. I feel like just going for that really quick third base instead of like what you I feel like normally comes out of a lot of Terran plays where they do the 2 base timing attacks.
Yeah, this is really nice because this allows you to grab insanely fast 4th base. So I think Cure is going to grab a 4th base around 4-minute mark, sorry, 7-minute mark, which is going to transition him into a late game very smoothly. So quite often the premise is that Terran has to deal damage early on against Zerg, and that's obviously how it works. But
Yeah.
with 3CC against Zerg, you don't really have to deal that much damage. If you snipe 2-3 drones, then you are already probably in decent spot.
Okay, okay. Well, it looks like it is going to be quite difficult to still get those. Even with the earlier creep tomb and denial. I mean, there's still 3 queens, well 4 queens actually, just ready and waiting. And then he blocked off the other entrance with 2 evolution chambers as well.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. So it leaves only one entrance for Hellions to go into the base of Solar. So it's not probably gonna work because obviously everything is gonna be in position. So the only hope that Liberator is going to do some damage for Cure.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Might pull some queens this way though. Yeah, some queens are moving and actually, no, he realizes his mistake and goes backwards already.
Yep, this is a classic Terran moves, right? Like you want to distract the Zerg so that he is looking away, and then you run in with Hellions, right? But
Yeah.
you know, Solar is such a experienced, such a good player that I don't think he's gonna fall for that. The thing about Liberators is that it takes less APM to set them up rather than to defend them. So that's why these guys, they are also fighting APM fight right there, right? So.
Yeah.
And right now Cure is trading, maybe he's gonna even kill a queen, or he's not. So I would say this is, how many drones did he kill? He killed 2 drones, so that's very, very good defense from Solar.
Yeah. I would agree. Pretty snappy. What do you think the follow-up would be here? With a 1-1 timing attack perhaps? Or do you think he's just gonna keep macroing up from behind this?
You mean Cure?
Cure, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gonna probably 1-1 attack with 2 tanks. That's very popular, very strong. This quite often hits before Zerg has Baning Speed, and Baning Speed just started, so there is a chance he still might deal some nice damage. There's already 4th going on for Solar, and that's probably... Oh, yeah, there's really nice drop with Hellions. So as you see, he didn't even take too much damage on Hellions so that he can use them now. This is another example of how he treats his units really well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Didn't even really have to go back to repair them, but you know what? There's still more than enough links, it seems, to really clean this one up. Let's take a look at the overall unit lost count. So he lost only 1 Hellion there. 8 Marines though. I mean, it's still alright.
Still alright, but it was very convincing for Solar actually, because these things usually trade quite well against Zerglings, off creep especially, but this time Solar had just so much that he simply managed to overpower this. However, this came at a cost because he had 66 drones most of the time, so the Terran's economy was better while this was happening, so he didn't even have to deal any significant damage, and as I said, the 4th command center is already on the way. So this pressure, while having this economy, is very, very dangerous for Zerg.
And now with the follow-up as well, 1-1 is actually ready for this attack this time around. Does have the helipads as well with this now. Armory has been completed. That's sure. Again, I think he should have enough, right? Maybe, does he need a flank here in any way? Or do you think he can just run in here?
Yeah, absolutely. A flank would be very good because this makes tanks significantly weaker. And as you see, Solar is heavily, he's very hesitant here. Now he's going for full engagement, and he has so much stuff that he's most likely going to clean this up quite easily, but with heavy losses.
All right, let's take a look actually at the overall loss count again.
Tanks got some very, very juicy hits on the Banelings clamps, so this was quite painful actually for Solar, but there's Hive on the way, and with this kind of playstyle I think I would prefer slightly sooner Hive, because it seems like Solar is not really transitioning into anything else rather than just Pureling Bane. And Pureling Bane is decent composition, but there are better ones. So, and also let's see what the counter attack does.
Yeah, counter-attack coming in. There is a wall later on in this, so you can just lift this up for now, but... You know what, I'm a little bit worried as well, perhaps, with that many links on that side of the field. Is this attack going to do a little bit too much? No, no, the links, they don't get on top of the siege tanks before they are actually sieged here.
No, that's the beauty of ZvT right now. We have action in 3 places at once. So the drop in the natural is dealing a little bit damage, but not yet too much. And Cure wasn't looking. So these players are searching for themselves, for each other. They are trying to find where the screen of the other player is, and this way they try to micro where the opponent is not. For example, as a Zerg, and Terran always tries to micro where the Zerg is, so that he can avoid getting his Marine killed.
Yeah. You know what, I actually did think that I didn't activate Game Hard there, because I saw that drop and I didn't see that many drones there anymore, but I didn't see any counter for the drone kills, so I really honestly thought that that was just a mistake by me, but no, Solo was just really on point, pulling away all those drones in time. Only lost 3 drones in total so far.
So he lost 1 drone to that drop.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive, really impressive. Yeah,
Right.
so the counter-attack got cleaned up at the 4th base. So Terran established 4th base happily. Zerg is on 5th base, so I would say the game is still even. Oh, we have a pretty nice fight right there. But it's on creep, so I think Zerg is supposed to trade pretty well there.
Only 8 Banelings available right now, though.
Yeah, he might just die. Okay, he managed to secure producing more Banelings, but there's not enough Banelings. I would say I think he needs more. And let's see about the transition. So there's 1 Viper and Ultralisk Cavern.
Yeah, the Ultralisk on the way. And do we see any type of response already coming out of Cure that will actually be able to deal with those?
So we have 3 barracks that gonna have probably tech labs. That's standard thing. It's gonna be Marauders, and Cure definitely does wonders with his Marauders. But I would say this is probably time to already start some Liberator production, add maybe 2nd starport and stuff like that.
You think he might be overproducing Widow Mines here, in fact, or because he is still just mass? I guess they are still useful in a way, but how many does he have?
Yeah, definitely. I would say Widow Mines are still pretty good here. Yeah, this fight, this might be very dangerous. Okay, so these guys have such an insane micro. Koreans especially, from perspective of micro, there's no better players. Europeans only win with Koreans through macro and strategies, but there's nothing like a Korean Terran micro.
It really is something else. They are truly on point, especially Cure right now. I have to continuously just say that he really is one of the pretty much the best Terrans right now that we do get to see on a regular basis. I love that he's already adding in so many Marauders as well. I really do feel like it's just him reading the situation appropriately, right?
Yeah, definitely. And also, yeah, because he simply didn't see any Mutalisks or Hydras, so he concluded that it's going to be Ultralisks, because that's the only natural transition out of Purling Vein. So he managed to get a really nice number of them, and that's very strong, because Banelings are gonna get taken out by mines, and Marauders are gonna take decent care of Ultralisks. However, I think eventually Liberators will still be good.
You know what, this push into the main, well, the natural and base here does look like it might be able to get right on top of this hatchery. I'm not sure if he's going to target it down. No, just going to keep on trading here and then get out of there.
So I would say Solar situation is not the best, but it's not absolutely critical, because he has decent amount of creep, and on creep Banelings are very, very strong. They got buffed like 2-3 years ago, and that still can be felt. Banelings, they simply are very strong against bio if well microed. So I would say Solar has some trouble. Look, the way Cure macroed up, he has up to 10 command centers and everything. So it's still gonna be very tough. However, his army is getting decent value.
Yeah, for sure. That being said, though, again, we're seeing this multi-pronged aggression. This time around, though, on the right side, not really engaging anything. Perhaps Cure was expecting there to be another base being rebuilt there on the bottom right. You know, it's a bit of a feel-good moment for him, realizing that there's actually nothing there. Oh my god, a massive Widow Mine hit. Right now, just moving inwards towards that bottom 6 o'clock base as well. There are enough forces here for the Zerg to kind of engage this, but Marauders coming in, you know what, with the Widow Mines there. Not sure if he actually does have enough. Ooh, big connections though. Alright. Let's force it backwards again.
Yeah, look at the units lost up. That's insane. That's
Yeah.
twice as efficient as the Zerg. So
It really
with
is.
pretty similar economy throughout the entire game, I think that clearly shows that Cure is massively outplaying Solar right there.
Yeah, really the case it seems. Especially before that previous fight. I feel like he did it even better. And, oh, wow. Did he know that there were Corruptors out on the field coming this way? That's crazy. He didn't pick up those units in the bottom right side, just kind of left them there without really seeing those Corruptors yet.
Yeah, but it seems that he doesn't even care because he's rebuilding them at a pace that's pretty insane. So he's essentially maxed out all the time.
This is actually true. He has quite a bank building up here.
Yeah, so he might even left them to just distract Solar so that he doesn't defend his bases there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Alright. Pushing in again in a very heavy choke points here. It does seem like the army composition of Solar not really capable of pushing into a location like this.
I'm not a huge fan of just the number of banelings that Solar has. Okay, GG.
Oh. You were
Well,
not a fan of the amount of banelings. So what else could Solar have done there, really, right? Because he was just getting pressured all over the place. Is he supposed to have more Mutalisks to really stop the Medevac from flying away and gaining so much value all the time, or?
That's a good question. That's the question of the nature of Pureling Bane against
Yeah.
Terran. Is it even that good? I've seen Solar use it throughout the years, and he has used it with quite a success, actually. But I always preferred having just something to add to this Link Bane, you know, stuff like Hydras, stuff like Mutas, right? So I'm not exactly sure if this is the best way to play ZvT even, you know.
Yeah, I think I can get behind that. He did it later on at the Corruptors, but you know what? It felt like it was just too little too late at that time.
Yeah, because Cure, basically anytime anything happened, he just packed up, like if a situation wasn't optimal, he just packed up and ran away and everything. And Widow Mines managed to get even some nice shots off, and it wasn't really too good for like every single trade that happened was good for Cure and bad for Solar, pretty much, right?
Yeah. That's true. There's like really one or two maybe. And they weren't really game deciding fights. They were just small clusters of Terran units somewhere out on the map. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and Cure was really a beast in this game because he managed to micro in most of the time in two locations, or at least once pretty heavily, while macroing pretty heavily as well, right? Like he was building buildings, he was building units all the time, and all that stuff, right? So
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But yeah, we've been hyping him up a little bit here. You know what? I'm a little bit worried. Perhaps that after hearing as well about the 3-0, what's going to happen here to Solar in a best of 9? Is he still going to be able to get some points on the board here?
well, I heard opinions that Triton is the most Zerg map in this
Really?
in this map pool.
More so
that's what I
than World
heard.
of Sleepers?
I don't know. I actually don't have very strong opinions on this maps yet. But I heard Triton is really nice. So I've seen some very abusive tank pushes on this map, but with good flank, you're almost always supposed to clean them up pretty easily. So I'm not exactly sure what's gonna happen, but I would say maybe this is going to be slightly more close.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of flanking places here. Pretty much, you have a flank for your flank, is what it comes down to on this map.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, anyway, one more time we're going to do the introductions here. In the top left side, we have the red Terran Menace. Absolutely on a tear right now in most of these cups, and he is a DPG Cure. Bottom right, his opponent. You know what, this is his map pick, so if he doesn't make something happen here, he might feel very insecure about the rest of this series. Let's see if he can make it work, though. He is the blue Zerg. He is TSG's Solar.
Yeah, I would say like the previous map, yes, Solar is an amazing player, but Cure looked a level above him, really.
For sure. For sure.
That's
Do you
crazy.
think like the map had something to do with it as well in that sense, or?
I would say even actually the opening, right? Because 3cc straight away unpunished, and the way Cure played it, I would say from economy perspective, it puts Terran at least even, or maybe even slightly ahead,
Okay.
if Zerg doesn't do anything with it, against it. So I would say this probably plays a role, because if Cure this game opens safer, he's gonna have significantly slower tempo of aggression, slower tempo of expanding, and everything. So we have to see whether Solar is actually going to go for punishment, because, for example, Dark, whenever he plays against Terrans, half of his games are pretty much Roach Ravager, Link, Pressures, or All-Ins, which are very,
Yep.
very strong, 35 drones.
Yep.
So that's something that Solar could be trying to do. But on the other hand, I've seen that Terrans are slowly starting to hold these kind of pushes, maybe even with 3cc. So
Wow.
assuming they get very early tank or early Banshee and stuff like that. Okay,
Yep.
there we go. Another, again, 3cc. So let's, this time at least two more is alive, so we have slightly better start for Solar.
Oof. You know what, I actually thought that Solar did make that hatchery there a little bit earlier than he did the game before, but I'm not even that sure anymore after seeing that quick command center as well. It does seem like it's kind of lining up as the same way as it did the previous game.
I think he delayed speed a little bit. Instead of getting it at 20 supply, he got it at 26. So this allowed him for a faster third base, I think, but I'm not
Okay.
sure. But it seems we have very fast layer, and I'm very curious to see what is it for. Is it some kind of a Lin? Is it Nidus? But I think Nidus in this patch is rather not impressive.
What could it be? It could also be Mutalisk, right? I suppose.
It could be, but it's very, very early. So I wonder. Yeah, that could be Mutas, and that could be, if those were Mutas, that would be very powerful, because most likely the timing of Mutas is gonna be around the time the initial two Medivacs arrive, and if he manages to snipe them, that's going to be pretty sick.
Yeah.
But before he gets them, he's gonna be very vulnerable. So he might lose drones to Hellions. He might, but he suspected, or yeah, now he scouted that this
So
is
many links.
third command center. So oh, this is. Is this
Nidus. It is a Nidus.
It's a Nidus, okay.
Very interesting. He doesn't really have that much across the map here, but yeah, he doesn't have a Baling Nest either, does he? I guess the entire ramp is still open. It's wide open, so maybe that's the reason why.
Well, I mean, if he runs in with 20 links right now, everything is dead in the natural, so there is a chance it's gonna work out for him.
He also has
But the
5
Nidus,
queens, yeah.
the Nidus is surprising to me. Is he gonna bring all the queens? It seems so. So he's about to run in. I think Cure might be dead.
You know what? I think you're right. This is his way of punishing this, really. And a Nidus in the main base as well at the same time, distracting with the links. I think he's trying to scramble back across the map here, but this is going to be in time. I don't think it will be, especially with those queens popping out in the main base as well. Oh, the SCVs trying to run away, running away for their lives there, but there's nowhere to run to, except for the Zerg main base, perhaps. Already
Yeah, the only chance
place.
of Cure is the 6 Hellions. They must kill 50 links. Are they gonna be able to do this? I don't think so.
Yeah, they also have to kill the 5 queens here. I mean, it's gonna be very, very rough.
Okay, Solar is targeting Tech Lab with Steam, so Steam is dead.
Oh, that's great.
I don't want to kill the suspense, but this doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, this kind of looks a little bit over here. 24, 26. I mean, I can keep calling it, but it's just gonna keep going upwards until Cure GG's here.
Yeah, I think so. However, like the very weird things about these kind of Lins against this type of play is that you have to absolutely kill almost everything as Zerg. Yeah, okay, GG. Because there are situations in which Terran survives this on 3 CCs, and he has 3 mules, and suddenly, yes, you have 30 drones, and he has, I don't know, 10 SCVs or something, but still Terran can very quickly recover. So Solar had to deal a lot of damage, and he dealt, so he managed to punish this build in very interesting way. I haven't seen that yet, but well, we have 1-1, and that's
Yeah.
best of 5 now. Sorry, best of 7.
Exactly. We're still going tit for tat right now. Which is always the nicest thing to have happen in one of these series, I have to say. I mean, it was a little bit of an aggressive attack, but it was well read, the situation previously. I mean, he did see the with the Overlord what was happening exactly the first round and now the second round as well. Kind of anticipating it as well. I feel like it would happen again. And
Yeah, 3CCs, there are versions of 3CC that are relatively safe.
Mm.
If there was a tank and Hellions didn't really move out, then there was a chance to hold it. But Cure went for absolutely by far the most greedy version and just got punished for it. Simple as that.
Yeah, makes sense. Alright, let me get everybody in the lobby again. Where are these players? There they are.
Yeah, this is called build order poker, right? So
Yeah.
first game, Cure went for greedy. Okay, invite me to the. It's not.
Did you get it?
No.
All right.
Did the game start? No.
No.
So in the
wouldn't
first
start.
game, Cure went for greedy opening and didn't get punished, and that's why he won a macro game versus safe build. And this time, so there's this triangle, right? So aggressive beats greedy, greedy beats safe, and safe beats aggressive, and then aggressive again beats So we had in previous game we had greedy beating safe, and now we have aggressive beating greedy. Let's see how Cure reacts this time. Most of people right now decide to go for safe play as a Terran, but if Cure has massive balls, he might suspect that Solar is gonna play safe again, and then he might do 3CC again, but he might not. So this is mind games happening right now in heads of Solar and Cure right now. They are wondering what the other guy is gonna do.
Well, it's already going better for the Zerg Solar here than it did in the Kung Fu Cup. So the finals there.
Definitely.
So yeah, it must be a pretty good thing. Maybe he saw, like, you know what, it might have been a learning experience for him as well, just playing that game and thinking about, you know what, if I see him again in another cup, then I know how to kill him this time around. That 3 base play.
Sure, but this is only one time, right? And he has 5 games to win.
This is true, yeah. Yeah, still has a long way to go, that's for sure. Anyway, we'll talk about that later on. Let me introduce, in the top left, we have TSG Solar. Red Zerg tying up the score with a aggressive push against the very ever so greedy Blue Terran here. In the bottom right side, we have Dragon Phoenix Gaming Cure.
Yep. Yeah, so he found a way to punish Cure's greed, but is he going to find a way to beat Cure in macro game? And in best of 3 or best of 5, that's completely fine to kill someone with cheeses, right?
Yeah.
But are you gonna fool someone 5 times in a row?
Yes.
I don't see that happening, man.
Yes, that's the best way to fool somebody. I don't know actually. I mean, Cure, he has been... So far, it's a little bit too early to say, but honestly, I do feel another 3 base timing coming in here, at least trying to get that as quickly as possible again. I might be wrong though, just a gut feeling I have. Not really based on anything.
He might be playing slightly safer, but still probably with the same aim. These 2 games serve the purpose of testing out each other, although they probably know each other for sure as well. But what's their form today, right? So and it's clear that Cure showed dominance in macro, while Solar showed dominance in cheekiness, and. Who knows? And there's also a fight right now about confidence, right? Because if you feel confident in this situation, for example, Solar might be worried about whether he wants to use macro style again.
Yeah.
Especially this Pure Link Bane, which is his trademark for a very long time, and it got popped pretty much. So is he feeling confident to use it again? And now is Cure feeling confident to play greedy again, right? So this is also a pretty interesting thing. But it seems Cure decided to play safe this time, and Solar is most likely gonna also play safe. So we might have a kind of a first game that isn't decided by build order poker, but rather than just a proper mid-game, late-game play.
Very cool, very cool. Another thing I was wondering about, right? I want to ask you. Is this? Sometimes you do see the SCV going for the third base block, and Cure this time just completely avoided that entire situation there. I mean, he did scout later on with the Reaper, but he didn't even try to get a block there. Do you have any inclination of why that would be, or?
I actually wasn't paying attention too much, so I can't say much. People nowadays tend to, if they see that they can get away with it, they send so if they see the Reaper and the CVs at the third base of Zerg, then they send links straight through the map, and sometimes they manage to, for example, block a switch of factory with barracks. Right. And then Terran is in deep trouble, because if the links are just two links are sitting on top of the place where the factory is supposed to be, then you are not gonna able to produce Hellions, right? So maybe that could be just a safer play, but this time it's on Cure to apply some pressure. This is Hellion Marauder attack, and it's the main power of this attack. It's virtually unscoutable, because this looks like Steam being researched, and it looks like a completely normal build.
What if you see the armory?
Is he going to, though?
Yeah.
And most likely he's not gonna, right? Yeah, so...
oh, you mean he's not gonna scout it, but like...
Yeah.
That would that not be one of the ways to kind of see this on coming, or? For
sure, but the problem is that he lost the Overlord and he only sent one, so he's just not gonna, right? And there was also Viking to snipe the Overlord, so it's very difficult to scout.
Okay.
But Solar played very safely, and he has Baning Nest, so there is a chance he's gonna hold, but it is still very dangerous push. But it's looking really good for Solar, I think, actually. Very high number of queens, Banings ready, and so Banings are gonna take out Hellbats, and pure Marauders against Zerg is not the dream of Terra.
It's not the way.
Not at all.
He had reasonable splits at the start. I thought he may have been able to kind of get some work done, but then trying to get up that ramp instantly, you just have that problem. Link's attempting a run by here as well. They do see the timing of that third base too, and I mean, quick reaction by Cure though, lifting up the supply depot. Not really taking any damage there. Yeah,
so since we talked about this triangle, let's continue that narrative. This time it was Solar playing safe and Cure playing aggressive, right? So since aggressive gets beaten by safe, that's what happened. But Solar is completely out of position. Okay, he manages to hold. So right now, this is Solar's game to lose, I would say. Maybe Cure is still gonna play so well that he might overcome the pure Link Bane style. But this time, actually, Solar is getting Hydra Den. So Hydra Den. This is going to be Hydra Bane. Oh, but there's a second wave, man. And Solar might be completely surprised by this. I would never suspect this, and I think he's still fine.
Yes, 5 Banelings. No Baneling speed yet, though. Could be impactful here. 3 Banelings really not hitting any targets. A lot of Banelings morphing in, but... I mean, there is creep, but... Well, let's see how the splits are. Pretty reasonable, actually. Not hitting any targets too much, but yeah, it's still gonna get cleaned up. Too many links, too many queens.
Yeah, Cure did his best, and he really split well and everything, but it was just... Hellbats are just simply not good against Banings, that's it.
Yeah.
And he managed to have enough of them.
I mean, as soon as the Hellbat can shoot the Baneling, it pretty much already is in range of pretty much lethal damage instantly.
Exactly.
Baneling too.
And this might be very tough for Cure to hold. This was a very popular type of attack in early Heart of the Swarm, where Zerg will get speed for Banelings and just 1-1, and Terrans used to not have anything to counter it, and it seems like that's the case as well here.
Yeah, this entire third base now gonna get blown up by those banelings. All those SCVs instantly gone. You know what, Solar, it looks like he might be taking this game pretty soon here. With a 2-1 lead.
Well, it seems Cure might stabilize because he has Widow Mines, right? So that's the splash
True.
he needs to counter Ling Bane. However, the damage he took is massive. The upgrades are 1-1 for both players, so that's fine. But Cure has no pushing potential, right? So
Yeah.
by the way, it's worth noting how insanely early game affects whatever is happening later, right? Like this is,
Yep.
if this was 3CC, like the first game, Cure would be all over the place, harassing everywhere and stuff like that. While here, he's just barely moving out with one medivac of units, two medivac of units, and there is huge, massive army waiting for him already.
It's true. Yeah, and you're still attempting to get some work done across the map. I don't think you have much else of a choice, right? You gotta find some sort of an opening here. Multi-pronged harassment might be the way to perhaps find something, but Solar just has so much stuff that he should have more than enough to be on all those locations wherever Cure can push. And even great connections there with the banelings on that one single push coming through the middle, and GG being called immediately.
Yeah, this series so far is very Korean, I would say. Koreans like these aggressive, punishing styles. You know, Europeans, we would be maybe finishing the first game right now.
Yeah.
And with Koreans, we have 3 games already happening, right?
Yeah, they're like, alright, I can see the weakness in my opponent's armor, I'm just gonna go for it. Here we go.
Yeah. And like they see I have 75% chance of this working, let's do it, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Europeans are like,
Let's
I
try to
have
make that 80% first.
Yes, exactly. I think the timing attack with Brulers is what I love, you know. So yeah, like Serral, for example. Like, I've seen games of Serral against Terran where he doesn't leave his half of the map for 20 minutes, for example, right?
Yeah.
And even here, a Hydra Bane is not particularly great composition to attack, off creep and everything. So many Zergs would choose to just sit back and macro up after holding both of these attacks. But Solar decided to counter attack twice, and both of these counter attacks were great.
Yeah, they really were. They really were. Even, like, not overcommitting to the first one. Like, as you said, Cure was kind of stabilizing. Sometimes you do see Zergs then just butting their head against the wall that doesn't really crack at that time, but just moving backwards, realizing that the ball was now on the court of Cure, he'd had to make a move, just crushing that move again, and going for another counterattack afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so before we do hop into the next game, I do want to make a quick shout out, guys. We have a Matcherino page as well. It is right above that little chat box over there. You can click on the little arrow downwards. You will see the Matcherino page and a code as well. If you go over there, you will be able to give a little bit of extra cash to these players, their prize pool. It's not going to cost you anything. It's 50 cents that is going to be added for absolutely free. And yeah, that is the first one. And also, I want to make a shout out to one of our sponsors. GameStop is working with Matcherino to fuel the grassroots of competitive gaming by by providing hundreds of amateur tournaments, not just tournaments like these or show matches like these. They are helping us with that as well, of course, but also amateur tournaments which anyone can participate in. Across dozens of titles to enable you to compete and win some tournaments as well. Have some fun and get your foot in the door of the esports world. If you want to go check this out, what is available, go to gamestop.com/esports. Alright.
Exactly, and these guys deserve every cent that you guys send them. This could very easily be semi-finals of GSL or quarterfinals, and
Pretty much, yeah.
This is pleasure to watch, in my opinion.
Really is. Like I do hope that we're gonna get a game that is gonna continue on a little bit longer at one point. Just a bit of a back and forth here and there, but I mean, so far it's just been stellar play and finding the chinks in the armor. Honestly, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the Marauder Hellbat push. Maybe that's the reason why, but
I think Terrans go for stuff like this when they expect Zerg not to have Baning Nest or Roach Warren.
Right.
So it's a gamble, right? Like 50-50. Is there gonna be Baning Nest? If there is, I'm dead. If there is not, then I win.
Just expecting a bit more greed out of Solar there, perhaps.
Yeah, and he skipped Baning Nest in second game, and I think in first game it was also kind of late. So this was not a bad guess. It just didn't work out. And
Well.
but when you have 9 games to go, you want to make Zerg feel unsafe as well. You can't just let Zerg get 66 drones while building anything else. Nothing else.
You got to keep rotating between the safe, greedy, and aggressive openings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Didn't really introduce yet. Anyway, in the top left side, blue Terran here. Bottom right, red Zerg. It is Solar. Just rushing through it here so we can keep an eye out on everything that they're doing. So far, it looks like a standard Reaper opening. So at what point do you think we can really see that Cure is or isn't going to go for that that third command center? Is it like right after the factory? Or?
Yeah, after a factory, and I think it's also depends on the timing of the second gas. If you get early gas as Terran, then you don't have. Yeah, so right now we know this is not going to be 3cc because he got 2 minutes 10 seconds gas because he needs that gas to build a starport. Otherwise, if he skipped this, it will be more minerals to get the third base. So let's see what he's gonna do with the starport. Usually this means Terran has to deal some kind of damage to Zerg. I would say to make the game even after opening like this, Terran has to kill, I would say, probably 6-7 workers at least. So if Solar...
right.
Yeah, so if Solar manages to defend like he did in the first game, when he only lost 3 drones, then suddenly it's going to be... it's going to be a game where Zerg is ahead again.
Makes a lot of sense. And so far, I mean, I'm not seeing any extra drones being put back on the gas or anything like that. Just mining with a single one.
Yeah, maybe this is the dream you wanted. Maybe this is going to go a bit longer. And yeah, the funny thing is that Cure already killed 1 drone with Reaper.
Was actually attacking his own overlord there for a little bit.
He hates Cure, he hates him so.
Punishing him for not being out.
For not seeing the for not seeing the Reaper.
Get back in position.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the Zerg whip.
Very harsh punishment. Nice.
Right. Anyway, yeah, there's a Roach Run actually on the way this time around for Solar, so he's ramping up the aggression actually.
And Fusion Core from Cure.
Oh,
so.
That does not bode well, does it?
Depends. This is going to be quite early BC. I think one of the earliest you can build. The third base is slightly too early actually for that to be the case. So this might be tough to hold, but this might get weird because, for example, Solar might kill 25 workers, but BC can hold this eventually and counter-attack, and maybe he can kill 20 workers. So it's hard to say, but I would say the fact that the third base was so quick for Cure, I think this is looking good for Solar.
Yeah, I think I have to agree. Although he did scout it out quite as early as possible, I'd say. We're not seeing any bunkers being created, though. Do you think that's the right call to not start any bunkers here?
Well, the question is what this Cure actually has to build right now, and I think bunkers would definitely be good, because otherwise, how are you gonna hold until your BC is out, right? Like,
this is true.
I think I would probably just abandon natural and build 5 bunkers in the main base.
Yeah, that makes sense. A way to really mitigate that amount of damage. I guess he doesn't have that much to put inside of the bunkers, so perhaps that's him just thinking about where can I spend my money now the most effectively? But I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. However, you just want to buy time, right?
Yeah.
That's the main thing, because BC is gonna kill everything eventually, but it's just gonna take so much time. And by the way, the orbital command in the natural is almost dead, but it seems... Wow, it seems this was an easy hold.
Yeah, that positioning just overall from Cure, really well done there. He did lose 9 workers, but overall for like the positioning he's in, 3 command centers. He has BCs. I'd say that's pretty solid for Cure, no?
I would say this is amazing for Cure
Yeah.
because the 3 CCs is equivalent of 11 and a half workers, right? So
Yeah.
right now this is 5 worker difference plus, and if you add mules, then Terran's income is significantly bigger, I think. Plus Solar is on, you know, ancient tech basically right there.
But he doesn't have the third base yet on a location to mine. Do you think this is very impactful? I guess he's not oversaturated anywhere, so probably not too
Yeah.
impactful,
Well,
right?
he's flying there, right?
Yeah.
At this point, that command center is mainly for just throwing mules, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say this is actually Solar managed to drone up pretty nicely there. So maybe this is not the end for him, but I would say Curious ahead. I would say Curious ahead.
So what would be a good follow-up for Solar here? He is adding the delay attack. It's almost done. Do you think you're just gonna go for another Nidus play or something like that? Try to keep the aggression up against these battle cruisers, or just grab the Spire?
It's hard to say because any choices that he makes doesn't seem too good. Because if you go for Spire this late, this is already 2 BCs with soon Yamato cannons.
Yeah.
So and there's the third BC coming, and Nidus, you need million queens to kill 3 BCs that are being repaired. So it doesn't seem good at all in any case for Solar, I think. But let's see. This is a nice counter attack. BCs were out there, so
That's
yeah,
just
but it's
too many
just,
Hellions.
yeah, it's just killing Hellions. But at least distracting Cure, so he cannot micro. And yeah, now Yamatos. If he kills, no, he's not gonna kill it. Let's see.
Was so close. Oh man.
Yeah, it looks close, but they have armor too, so those queens are just tickling them, kind of, you know. So yeah, so if I was Zerg right now, I would be pretty depressed, right? This is 61 drones. Yes, Spire is coming, but these BCs are gonna just Yamato the Corruptors and just go back, right? So now it's on Cure to be ready on time to deal with Corruptors, pretty much. So this should be Cyclones, this should be maybe even Thors or some turrets. So let's see how is he gonna deal with Corruptors, because there's 9, but it's only 9 of them. That's not enough. I don't think they are any kind of threat. Right now the Hellions the third. This is bad. This is 10 workers for free, and yeah.
Tossing out roaches here as well now when you really just want to make those Corruptors, right?
Yeah, this is 47 workers for Zerg. 47 workers is basically all in. It's basically all in right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not seeing any more drones on the production line. He's just making those roaches and making links to follow him up with. And yeah, the Hellions coming back in one time more here. Guess
yeah,
this is good.
This is a good call for Solar, but it's not gonna work most likely, because this is tanks. This is actually no.
With great biles comes great responsibility, but yeah, it's most likely gonna get cleaned up here by those battle cruisers. Not kind of missing a repair there, I'd say, on one of those battle cruisers that did get moved backwards, but other than that, this should be okay.
This is surprisingly close, but I think yeah, once Corruptors are dead, there's nothing stopping Cure from just cleaning up anything that's on the ground. And he killed 15 workers, which is decent, but that's still 20 workers ahead for Terran. So
it's a sad day for Zerg when you're killing 16 workers and you're still behind with more than 20.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, he's putting up the fight, and the roaches, you know, it takes quite long to kill roaches.
Yeah.
But,
actually, with just these two, okay, well, more siege tanks are coming out now. Guess you know what, he is killing a lot more works than I thought he would still, but he's still behind by quite a bit here. And well, he didn't drone up at all behind this side.
Yeah, in order to be ahead right now, he would have to reduce Cure's drone CV count to something like 25.
Yeah. Yeah,
so that's still 25. That's still 30 workers to go, man. So
yeah,
okay,
GG is gold.
All right. Yeah, so we have again Solar kind of going for aggressive style, right? And this time it didn't work out.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate that. I really did think that those roaches were going to do a lot better. Especially with
Early on, you mean?
yeah, especially with like the 3 command centers and 2 battle cruisers. I thought like, well, this is just gonna be a rip for Cure here, but not at all actually, not even in the slightest there.
Well, honestly, that initial hold was amazing. Like he didn't even build bunkers, and he held
Yeah.
this. He lost 3 depots and a couple of SCVs.
It really was just like the positioning, right? Just keeping the Zerg on that ramp and then letting all that AoE damage line up for the Hellions there.
Yeah, it seems so. And he managed. I think he managed to kill roaches with these Hellions even.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right.
So that's pretty insane micro.
He did have the 1 battle cruiser as well at the same time, but yeah, I mean the 1 battle cruiser, it's still gonna take a long time. You really need those Hellions as well, dealing as much AoE as possible to really make that work, I'd say.
Yeah, I didn't expect such an easy hold at all.
Nope, nope, me neither.
Yeah.
That never works out that way in my ladder games. That's for sure.
And are you Terran?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, these
Um,
pushes are hard to hold. Very hard to hold.
they definitely are. Looks like they are both ready once again. Let me just switch to no history here for these guys, so they, you know, have their pro gaming needs met.
Yeah. I always do that.
Privacy.
Just a habit.
Yeah. Not completely sure why people wanted that much. I guess you don't see the build order and stuff like that later on, but then again, we still have the replays, right? We still have like the VODs and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I guess it's just to make your opponent spend a little bit more time on having to research you in that way, make it a bit more difficult.
It actually takes some time, you know, like finding all the VODs. So there's so many tournaments going on, so finding
true.
all the VODs, it can be not that easy. It can take, you know, 10-20 minutes to find a VOD that you want.
Yeah. And, I mean, this means that we're tied up once again, 2-2. And in the top right, we have the Terran, who just managed to have a miraculous hold somehow, some way. Bringing it back from a point where, well, we both kind of thought that he needed a bit more stuff there, but just managing to make it work. Anyway, I won't delay much further because we do see some stuff happening there in the on the mini-map. It is the blue Terran. He is Cure. And his Korean Zerg counterpart here actually managing to get the cancel. Wow, alright. Well, we'll talk about that later on. In the bottom left side, we have the red Zerg. He is Solar. So yeah, those 2 barracks immediately scouted here. Did the Overlord see them, actually?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering when Proxy Racks is gonna happen.
Well,
I think he tried to go for 2 racks, which is the most economical one. So this is not the end of the world for Cure, surprisingly. You know, this people were wondering why, you know, Maru does a proxy, it doesn't work out, but he's still ahead. This is this type of situation where maybe he's not ahead, but he's not dead actually, because
Yeah.
he didn't invest that much. Some mining time, canceling barracks, and Solar also lost that mining time and he went for pull first. And pull first is not that good build. There's a reason why you always hatch first, right? So I
Yeah.
would say Cure is behind, definitely, but not by much.
You think like the pull first in combination with the cancelled Rex kind of does give an opportunity here for Solo to add some aggression? I don't know how many links he only made 2 links, so I don't think he can get too much done, especially with the Reaper here actually now.
Well, he's not gonna, but I think the opening might be there. Maybe if he started Roach Warren 20 seconds ago, if he went even for just the low commitment 3 Roach, 3 Ravagers pressure, just bile, you know, bile depots and stuff like that, I see that dealing some damage. But Cure is playing safe, as you see. There's Bunker. He's aware of stuff like this, and Bunker with Marines inside. Well,
Very
this
hard
is
to
only
break.
one Marine, right? But in order to kill 1 bunker that's being heavily repaired with 4 Marines inside, you kind of need 5-6 Ravagers to kill it instantly. So with 3 Ravagers, he would probably most likely not do anything. So I will have to be fully committed all in, and that could break. That could break Curia. He has nothing still. So
Yeah, because like not only did you know, just having to cancel those barracks, it's also a very long distance, right? To even well, first of all, after sending those SCVs, so it's I guess they also get created a little bit later than on some other maps, right?
Yeah, and look, he has Hellions soon, so his build is delayed by what? I would say 20 seconds, maybe 25. I would say Zerg is probably
Quite a bit.
delayed also by 15, 20 seconds, so it's not a big deal here. I think, as I said, Solar is ahead, but not by much.
Alright.
I wonder if decision that he decided not to attack was because of the previous game, right? Like Cure held everything so well.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this traumatized Solar and he decided, you know,
Never again.
never again. Exactly. This was supposed to be 3-1, but it's 2-2, right? So
Yeah.
let's play it safe.
Seems to. Although he is adding a Roach Warren once again, though.
But this is, I think, this is defensive Roach Warren because this is in front, so he's showing it, and he's doing this on significantly higher drone count, and also he's getting lair.
All right.
So this looks to me like either a safe play or maybe he wants to do some aggression after lair. Nidus. Nidus, maybe, yes.
Maybe. Okay.
It could be, yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing it another time attempted here. I mean, it worked out very well that that second game.
Yeah, is it gonna work now? Well,
There's
there
no
are two
third
Marines.
base. Oh wait, there is.
Yeah,
Right.
it's on the way. So there is a full wall, and there are Marines trying to find the Nidus if it happens. So
True.
So it seems Curious better prepared this time.
Let's learn this lesson. There is that one Overlord that I'm just looking at sometimes at the heading in that direction. That kind of gives me the sense.
This is suspicious Overlord, definitely.
Alright, well, the Queens should be able to deal with most of this aggression coming in the front door for Solar. Yeah, that Liberator not really finding a position there at all. Bit of a weird angle, perhaps, to come in with that Liberator there, but you know what? Sometimes you find Queens to be in the other positions, so you know what?
Well, it seems to me the moment of Nidus has passed. Yeah, there's the Spire.
Yeah.
This was just too high economy. You know, you do Niduses on kind of like 40, 45 drones. 60 drones is just too high.
Alright.
But I think I wonder why Solar went for Roaches in general. He's rather kind of a Lingbane guy. So is he expecting mech? I'm not sure. But also look how Cure reacted to seeing Roaches. He built 2 bunkers and now he cancelled them upon seeing that Solar is coming back. Right. So there's a lot of these tiny things that make these players really, really good. Yes.
Yeah. Tiny adjustments taking place every second. Trying to read the situation as appropriately as possible.
Yeah, let's see how Solar is gonna react to what he scouted, because he scouted Bio, and Roaches are. I'm not fan of Roaches against Bio, so let's see is he gonna commit to more Roaches? Yes. And what is he gonna do with Spire? Is it going to be Muta? So Roach Muta is not that good. So Solar is in very awkward spot when it comes to attacking, because what is he gonna do? So this could be just a couple of Mutas into Master of Ravager, like 200.
Oh wow!
Actually, this is a Bane mess. So he's probably just gonna switch to Bane out of Roaches, but this is awkward because you don't like to build 20 Roaches if you play Bane. You don't want to do this.
Is it just safety Roaches then, or did maybe actually thought he wanted to do something perhaps at one point?
Well, I think he wants to survive until Mutas, right? So, in order to survive against this number of Marines, you need some stuff, right? Like,
yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Is it
So
less expensive then to perhaps go for those Roaches instead of having to remake perhaps a couple of Banelings here and there a couple of times?
Well, I mean, his Banelings just finished, so if he didn't have these Roaches, there was a chance that he might just simply die to this kind of push. Or maybe not die, but just take too much damage, so...
Nautilus
he decided
absolutely open. Nothing here really to defend against this. Marines now stimming backwards, trying to rush across the map here again. Yeah, that's a very rough position.
Yeah. This was very good damage for Solar. 12 SCVs at this point. These Mutas have paid for themselves already, and
Yeah.
they are gonna they are gonna continue to find damage.
Oh my
except
god.
They are completely dead right
And
now.
they're dead. A little bit of miscontrol. Actually, I'm wondering as well, like, do you think... I don't really see that often people going for roaches and then with the roach stack head into the Mutalisk stack. Do you think that's kind of perhaps a thing as well that Solar thought about when I open up with the roaches, you are less likely to expect Mutalisk?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I think so. I think so. I'm a bit surprised by what's going on in this game. It's hard to wrap my head around this. Right?
Welcome in my world.
Yeah. I mean, eventually this makes sense that he's transitioning to Ravager Link Bane, because that's what you want to do in longer term if you get caught with roaches randomly when you actually want to play Link Bane against Bio. But everything just got really awkward here for Solar, because he is struggling to find gas to, for example, to go Hive right now.
Yeah.
This is almost 10-minute mark, and it's only Infestation Pit barely finishing. So, but the damage he dealt, I mean, if the Mutas survived, it would be amazing. But right now he had to rebuild those Mutas, and it's still only 9 Mutas, and 9 Mutas is rather unimpressive.
Yeah, the worker count, not that much of a difference. Maybe the base count, perhaps. Solar now going towards a 5th base here, which is also pretty saturated here. And it looks like you're still kind of limping along on the 3 base.
Yeah, he's camping very heavily. He actually just moved out with 1 Medivac drop with 2 Medivacs, and that's it, pretty much. And but he's impenetrable, except maybe this 4th base might take some damage. But look, there's Marines in the main base.
Yeah.
There are Marines close to the natural, the 3rd. So his response to Mutas is just let's camp it out and let's get good units. Let's get 3-3, maybe some Thor's mines, and then we're gonna bring it to the Zerg. But by the time Cure is ready to do that, there's gonna be creep everywhere. There's gonna be million Banelings, and there's gonna be Hive Tech. So I would say this is still pretty good for Zerg, unless Solar again decides to underbuild Banelings.
Makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, we're like, compared to like game number 1, we're seeing Cure just a whole lot less on the map, right? I guess he went heavier in the siege tank composition as well this time around.
Yeah, because of roaches, right? So
Because of the roaches. Yeah,
right.
okay.
So because there was opportunity for Solar to go for 7-10 mutas into just 200 Roach Ravager, and you clearly see that that's what Cure was preparing for, with large number of tanks, with heavy Marauder count, and such a very heavy defensive posture. So this tech switching in this game is pretty crazy, actually.
Going for the Ultralisks here, I do think that would be the more appropriate thing. We're seeing a bigger fight happen, actually. The siege tanks might be just barely enough. Great positioning with them, actually, here in on the low ground.
Yeah,
might
I
be
agree.
able
That's
to
pretty
keep
amazing.
this away.
I wonder if Ultras make sense here. This is anti-Roach composition, and by accident also Ultras are countered by...
Yeah, it makes sense, actually.
Yeah. So I maybe I would prefer maybe a Brewlord transition here.
Yeah.
Marauders and tanks don't shoot up, so that
makes sense.
right?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I just find World of Sleep is such an incredibly big map, and then playing against someone like Cure, perhaps he doesn't feel comfortable with playing like with a slow unit composition.
Yes, but on the other hand, you have creep everywhere, so it's not like
you can see it
harassment
coming.
is gonna you're gonna have vision everywhere, you're gonna have mobility everywhere. So I would say Broodlord would be pretty nice to crack this army, crack his camping, while Link Bane would probably be enough to defend most of the time.
Alright, well, Cure does manage to clean up a little bit of force here for Solar. On the top left, the other drop did get absolutely annihilated, though. But, are those actually 4 command centers being built at the same time here? Alright.
Yeah, and that's
going
exactly
in late
what
game.
Terran is supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because if you have
Right now, additional command centers allow you to drop mules, which allow you to reduce the SCV count. So this is basically abusing what the strength of Terran, right? Like so, Zerg has a lot of different mechanics, and Terran also has this mechanic that very lately you can simply have 10 orbital commands and 160 supply of army, and that's very, very strong.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's just, I always find it funny watching 4 of them go down at the same time.
Well, it's better than sit them around in the bank, right?
Yeah, that's true.
This is investment, right?
It's
Instead
definitely
of just,
true. It's also gonna need to scan through all this creep here.
Yeah, totally. And quite often Zergs like to destroy planetaries, so you need additional orbitals to just replace them as quickly as possible.
Yep, makes sense. Makes sense to me. Alright, so we see Ghost Academy on the way, also the Fusion Core, so I do believe we will be seeing those Liberators coming in pretty soon, together with some Ghosts here. Big army swinging around on the bottom side, though. These, you know what, those bases are pretty open, but Solar changing his mind here. Not really committing to it. I guess it was because there was a single drop actually taking place a little bit further backwards. I think that could have done quite a bit of damage actually. Although there was a planetary there, that would still, you know what, might force a little bit of lifting up there.
Yeah, I mean, Cure is defending like a champion there. This is just crawling back into this game, kind of like Mario style. When he gets behind, he just is impenetrable and just doesn't die. And that's working for him. He's coming back to this game, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Bod's might be, like you said, is that he did go for that Ultralisk composition, right? So he is not really able to fully crack the Terran shell here.
Yeah. In my opinion, the way to crack Terran is with Broodlords. Even though they got nerfed this patch, this is just 2 Thors.
Yeah.
It's not good enough.
Let's take a look at the overall lost count as well. Again, oh my dear lord. That's quite heavy in favor here for Cure. Solar definitely has been banging his wall into this, banging his head into a wall here for a while, it seems. Look at that,
Yeah.
3 times the amount of gas, almost twice as much minerals lost here overall. I guess Solar is mining a whole lot more overall, base-wise, but...
But that was in the past, because right now Cure has higher income. Yeah, so Cure, his job right now is just to get more bases. He doesn't care about killing Solar, he doesn't care about interacting with Solar. He just wants to take more bases so that he can continue mining. And that's a pretty smart way about going to this. But Solar finally found a hole. And he managed to kill 20 SCVs, which is actually a favor for Cure right now, because he doesn't, actually he's rebuilding SCVs, but he doesn't want to be at too high SCV count anymore, because he wants to have a much bigger army supply.
Yeah, I guess saving that orbital is the more important bit here, right?
Yes,
yeah.
for sure, yeah.
He is getting those late game upgrades now as well, the Liberator range and the enlarged EMP as well. Well, both now going to get constructed, and I feel like that might be the way for him to start really pushing more forward. Yeah, I guess he's already doing it because he does have quite a large bank and he is on max. Manages to kill off a base here, another push on the left side, a little bit hesitant on moving forwards, but you know what, killing off creep, killing off these drones as well. Alrighty, not too shabby.
Yeah, is Cure making a comeback here?
Might be. There's an aggressive push though with a lot of Zerglings and Banelings on the right side as well, but the Planetary Fortress stands tall. Not really anything happening there. The fight on the left side looks like, you know what, Cure can just quite easily retreat here. No Corruptors or Mutalisks on this side, they are all on the other side, trying to fight a Planetary of all things.
Yeah, exactly. So 2 or 3 more traits like this for Cure, and he's back into this game in pretty nice shape.
Yeah.
And he also began transitioning into Liberator Ghost, although he's not really. He has his upgrades, but he's not building units.
Wait, is that...
It's a shame. Sorry? Yeah?
Wait, is that the medevac upgrade we're seeing being researched here? No.
Yes.
Yes? It is. Wow. Alright.
It's 5 seconds more of medevac boost.
You know what? I've never seen it. I've never seen this happen.
Yeah, me too. But it makes sense. It's good upgrade. So
Yeah.
these medivacs are gonna fly half a map with their boosts.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point. Maybe it is specifically because of the map as well, a little bit.
Maybe
Yeah.
because of Mutas also, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
he in previous games he was mainly abusing the fact that he would always pack up and run away, but with Mutas he is not allowed to. So, but boost outruns the Mutas, so he's able to this time.
Sorry. I thought I saw a Baneling run by, and then I realized it was just a gazillion changelings. They are adding a Nidus Worm here.
Yeah, Knight is a very powerful tool in late game, even after all the nerfs, I think, because
For sure.
right now Terran is not able to produce anything, so... he's not
He
gonna
will be in a moment, though.
Yeah. This was, yeah. Was this trade good? I would say this was good for Terran again.
In come the Banelings. Oh, getting shot by the Planetary already in beforehand. Will it be enough here? Looks like it's just going to go straight for the SCVs. Planetary still stands, though.
Yep. It was just slightly too little stuff, I think.
Yeah. Oh, look, I mean, the Ultra is still here? No. I was close. It was very close. Maybe a couple of those Banelings hitting the Planetary a bit earlier on, and not instead of hitting those SCVs.
I think one Baneling on Planetary would kill it. One more.
Yeah.
That was very, very close.
Then again, I mean, there is those other two command centers there already. Like, it just feels secure. Was kind of expecting, you know, him to lose a couple of bases here, but it's already prepped for it in a way, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what's the base count for each of the players? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's a huge attack here coming, and Cure was completely out of position, so he's losing all the Liberators here. And where is Army of Cure?
It was pushing in the bottom there.
I think that the big problem for Cure right now is that he doesn't have gas, so he's not able to produce any good units. So this might be a huge problem for Cure right now, because it seems like Solar found a pretty big hole in his defense, and he's killing quite a lot. So, and even Cure doesn't seem to have anything to deal with this.
Really killing off a good amount of bases this time around. You know, it might even kill off that other command center that's just floating in the top now. But no, actually, he's going to commit again into this. Not sure if he has the numbers for fighting this army, but actually more Zerg coming in, more Banelings. Great targeting, though, coming out of Cure. Those splits are absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Mind-boggling, honestly.
Yeah.
And, well, alright, I mean, he ults again. He is just that good. Not a lot of meta effects, though, on the map either. And again, that comes down to, like you said, the low gas count that he has, right?
And he lost all of them. Yeah, so now he realized, now he's building more gases, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he still is stabilizing, so yes, he has no bank, but he is maxed out. And he's mining a lot, I think, well, he's mining temporarily less, but once he launches all the bases, I think he's gonna be fine economy-wise, but he has to be very careful. This is very dangerous attack. He might just die right now because he has no mines, no liberators, just pure bio, and pure bio loses usually to this.
There are a lot of marauders here, but, I mean, he's trading as well as he can, I suppose.
Wow. Well, Solar mismicroed hit heavily. He managed to lose like 30 Banelings on single marauders, and that's a very bad trade.
Not optimal.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, maybe you could just come in there, force a stim, and then run back again, right? I mean, the Terran army is slowly going to kill itself that way.
Yeah, there's one medivac there healing out. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, this fight might be this might be the scary fight.
Yeah,
Okay.
oh my god, it's all red now, and already on top of it, there's not a lot of room to split here. Banelings rolling in. I mean, a nice choke though is being picked out by Solar, or I mean by Cure, but yeah, I think Solar is in fact finally gonna crack the. No, never mind. No,
Well,
never mind.
All the
Hold the
ultras
phone.
are very low on HP, and this was the sickest choke point abuse ever happened. So that's pretty amazing from Cure as well.
Marauders are like, come back here! We're smelling blood in the water.
Yeah. So now transfusions are gonna heal all the ultras, and suddenly we have fresh new Zerg army, while the Terran army is pretty battered.
Yeah, I mean, the army supply, a little bit in favor here. I mean, if he fights at the Planetary Fortress, he might still be able to make something work, but he needs to stay on top of this micro, though. The splits have to be absolutely amazing. In the Planetary Fortress, just shooting a single Ultralisk here. Unfortunately, it looks like this is finally going to be the moment where Cure is going to get demolished by the Zerg Onslaught. Or is it going to have to take another wave here?
Yeah,
Jeez
you know,
Louise.
Bank of Solar is getting thin right now.
Yeah.
But the problem is that Cure doesn't have any high-tech units, right? There's just no Liberators, no Ghosts. Pure Bio is actually very bad against Ultra Bane. It's still, he did wonders with it still, but from, you know, perspective of compositions.
Wait, what? This Ultralisk can hit the rocks from the high ground. I'm sorry, that blew my mind. I never knew.
Which ones?
It was at the top left. You know, there's these rocks where the like the Ultra can hit from the high ground. Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of surprising, yes. I didn't expect that.
I guess it's not really useful in any situation, but...
Oh, you know, maybe. Who knows? If you want to, if you have a high ground and you want to try to maybe run away or something. Who knows?
True.
If you get trapped there. Yeah. So the bank, I like to point out that the bank is even over players. So if this is a good trade for Cure, which it
doesn't
not,
look like.
yeah, then there would be a chance that Cure might stabilize, but this is still 5 full health ultras against Pure Bio. This might be very tough. But the micro is again insane from Cure.
Yeah.
He makes so much out of these units.
Making really good use out of his building placements and overall just the terrain as well, right? The ramps. But overall, you know what? It actually is. He did kill off another base in the 6 o'clock location.
Yeah, look at the income tap.
Right, alright.
A second ago, when he dropped mules, it was 1,000 minerals ahead for Cure.
Yeah.
So
he's doing it in some way. It looks like it feels like at least he's losing more bases overall, but you know what? Trading out still pretty efficiently. Let's take a quick glance at the overall loss count as well. It's getting a little bit close. It's no longer like double the amount for Solar here, but I'm so scared now. This might be it.
If Cure wins this, this is gonna be insane, and he might.
I'm not sure. He's up against the wall here, but more units coming in, streaming in from the top. Can he save anything here? A big portion of his army going down again, but at what cost for Solar? Yeah, I mean, there's still 2 orbitals there. They can just start mining immediately. And seems like he's
doing it.
Might be, yeah. The overall supply here, 44 army supply versus 74. My dear lord, oh my god, Matisse, this might be happening here, man. Solar took the 12 o'clock base here.
Jesus.
And you know what? Yeah, that is a bit of a rough position. If we look at all his bases, well, like his main base still has 1 mineral patch somehow, some way. It's natural as well. His third base also, and here, like, it is so little less remaining here for Solar, of course, on his side of the map. Very, very rough position. And you know what? This committal GG is actually called.
Wow, man.
Realizing he cannot keep that base secure, and that is the one base that he was kind of banking on trying to get something back here. Very, very well played.
At some point, I think Solar had 4,000 gas bank.
Yeah.
And while Cure had 0 gas bank and not even maxed out and just 3k gas, 3k minerals.
He never transitions into anything other than those Ultralisks, and just didn't have the tools, I guess, to really break Cure there with his, you know, his micro, his use of buildings, and everything in between.
Yeah, it was only bio.
Yeah.
Bio's not supposed to work.
Oh my god! All right, Ephemeron is the next choice here by Solar. Let's see if he can tie it up one more time.
Yeah, but psychologically, this game must be a disaster for Solar.
Oh, yes.
I would probably not be able to, you know, get myself together after this.
Oh my god. Well, maybe if he did make those Broodlords, like you said earlier on, I do definitely feel like he, you know what, even just a couple, right? Even not even a full-on Broodlord army, you just need a couple to start pressuring here and there. and force the Terran to engage on top of you instead of running away continuously from you and being able to use the micro continuously.
Yeah, that's a good point. I agree.
Alright. I quickly gotta run myself to the toilet 1 sec as you guys are helping in the lobby. So I'll be back in 1 minute. Matisse, just try to keep everybody happy with some analyzation of those games. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, man. Okay. I don't have chat opened, so I might open. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions if you want. Yeah, but this was a really good game, and really well played by Cure, I think. Okay, I'm opening chat in a second. I closed chat. How do I open chat on Africa? Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, is the game going? Yeah, we are waiting for something. I think, aha, because Kozan is a host. Okay. Yeah, so by the way, that's very interesting that Cure is playing Bio except one game, I guess, but most of the time he's playing Bio. And there has been a trend to go mech recently. But I think that's because of lurkers. People claim
Right.
that lurker. Yeah, hey,
I'm
welcome back, man.
Thank you.
How do I open chat on Africa TV? I closed it by accident.
Can you refresh or?
I refresh and it's still not there.
It's still not there. I'm not completely sure actually.
Okay.
Let me see. It's a lot in Korean though. I don't know how good your Korean is.
Yeah, not the best.
But you kind of understand some stuff, or?
No, not at all.
No? Alright. Let me see if I can figure this out quickly. Not sure if you still need it, or...
I
Alright.
don't need it.
Alright. Very good. Alright, so we're gonna hop into another game here. Let's see if both players are still ready. I did kind of alt-tap. They are both ready. Alright, here we go then. No time like the present. Let's hope we get another one of those games, because that was absolutely amazing. Perhaps not for Solar, his perspective. I'm not sure if he's ready for another one of those, but
yeah.
I just hope he is willing to just try to attempt it one more time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still thinking about that game, and he's gonna even think about this during the opening phases.
Yeah. My God, I do think that he might just be throwing a little bit more aggression in again at this point. Who knows?
So what's the score? What's the score? It's 3-2 for Q?
Yeah, it's 3-2 right now for Kyo's favor. And yeah, that means that Kyo still needs to win 2 more games. Solar only needs to win 3 more games, so it's not that much of a difference. But I don't know, it just doesn't really feel like that. It doesn't really feel like that, right? Every game Kyo won, he won it in such an incredible fashion. The games that Solar won, I don't want to take anything away from him, right? He's still playing really well. But, you know what? I mean, the Nidist one against, like, the really quick third command center. And what was the other one again? The other one that he won?
He defended Hellbat Marauder.
Hellbat Marauders. Yeah, again, like, I'm not a big fan of that one either. It did feel like a little bit of the poker build order wins, right?
Yeah,
as you're calling them. So yeah, I mean, whew. Anyway, in the bottom right side, absolutely on fire, this blue Terran player from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He is Cure. The top left, Red Zerg. TSG, he is Solar.
Yeah, I think what I would like to see from Solar is probably lurkers, because Cure is playing Bio every single game, and while I don't necessarily agree that lurkers are OP or super strong or something, I think they are pretty good against Bio in general. So as you see, Cure is not really relying on late game units. He's not really going Ghosts, Liberators or anything unless he has to, but he still doesn't even if he has to. So against lurkers just pretty much demolish Bio. So I think that would be a good experiment just to try it out. Maybe Cure will transition to late game if he sees lurkers, but I think uh, against the style that Cure is doing, that could be very good, right? And
Yeah.
the Solar used to say in one of the interviews on Home Story Cup that he's a player that tends to stick too much to his own strategies, so there's a chance he might not do it. But I think adaptation would suggest this is a time to try lurkers, probably because what else is there to try? He's not gonna win with Pure Bane again, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I mean, it definitely feels interesting. If he did use those looks there, he may have been able to secure a couple of spots more easily, and you know what, make it more costly as well for the Terran as soon as you like kill a base to retake those positions, perhaps.
Definitely, yeah.
But
Plus,
yeah.
lurker aggression is very powerful because if a Terran doesn't have tools to deal with it yet, which is usually just mass liberators, because lurkers are actually very, very quick, and they even outside of the creep, I think they have 4 move speed, so you can just bounce between you know, 3rd and 4th or 4th and 5th, and eventually you're gonna get a really good burrow. So however, you know, Cure puts up so much aggression that it might be very, very tough to even manage to have lurkers in position. So it's hard to say, but I think an experiment like this might make sense.
Makes sense to me as well. And you know, we're just gonna have to wait and see if he actually does adjust, right? Because if he doesn't adjust truly, then again, it's kind of this self-fulfilling prophecy in a way as well, where he already said that this is his problem, and then he's still, you know what?
Not really fixing that problem.
Yeah.
Right? But you know, StarCraft is a game of habits, right? Like most of the things are muscle memory. Most of things you're doing are based on habits, right? So Solar feels good with Link Bane, and that's what he wants to. He believes that this is his best chance to win, right? So we cannot blame him for that for sure. And yeah, what do we have here? So only 2 Hellions.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of a mind game there as well. We saw the factory flying over towards the reactor where the barracks is being built right now. As the Overlord died, he immediately put the factory back on the ground again and made its own reactor here. So he's delaying his Hellions quite a bit, in fact, in favor of getting quicker Marines, I suppose.
I'm not sure if he's gonna get Hellions anymore. I think it's gonna be just swap with the barracks to the right, probably.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I'm just gonna go straight into siege tanks again.
Yeah, and so he, it seems that he just didn't want to build Hellions, and he just wants to put up as quickly as possible just double medivac drop with Marines. So this is, to some extent, you could say this is a 2-on-1, but with just a 3rd base, right? So the medivac are gonna arrive very quickly. So this is gonna be, you know, just 40 seconds more for Solar to macro up. But this is enough also. The 40 seconds, that's 15, 20 drones for Zerg for free. So look, this is the 4th base, this is 66 drones. So Solar is also happy about this. So I would say this is a so far even situation, but maybe again, since Cure managed to pull off such a greedy build, maybe it's slightly good for Cure.
Yeah, I mean, every time he managed to get away with that greedy build, it's really didn't feel that close anymore for Solar so far anyway in this series, but I'll have to wait and see if it's gonna be a repeat again. I mean, he does have the banelings, like you said.
This is not scary at all. This is just a couple of Marines, so this should be cleaned up very easily. The Queens got cut off position. Losing 2 Queens is a surprisingly big deal there, because 2 Queens is it's 1 base of minerals, right?
Yeah.
Plus, Queens have extreme utility in many situations, and also he's not building up the energy bank or anything right now. So. And now he has to replace the Queen. So this was surprisingly good, I would say.
Yeah, for like a 2 medevac drop, that was about, you know, as much as you could ask for the amount of forces that Solar had right there. I'd say that Cure really good at reading the situation as well, realizing, you know what, I'm not gonna get the base, but I might be able to get these 2 queens here.
Yeah.
And yeah, very well done indeed. Do you think he's gonna be moving out again with the +1/+1 and the siege tanks here, or?
It's clearly he wants to do that.
Okay.
And this, you know, those bridges in front of the fourth base of Zerg are extremely difficult to defend. So Solar is doing his best to just not let Terran there. This run by could be very, very, very dangerous. Let's see how Solar plays it out. You want to even jump on top of the production of Terran right now,
Yeah.
because there's so many units that you would be probably even force the Terran to go back. But Solar decides to go for some kind of, you know, harassment-based run by instead of just on top of the production run by, which I'm not a fan of, because right now Cure can continue his production and also can continue the attack, which is actually pretty scary right there.
Yeah, to me it felt like he was opting to try and get a little bit more of a force assembled for the defense in favor of controlling that run by as much as he maybe could have done.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's this is very heavy APM situation for both of players.
Yeah.
So, as I said, they are trying to find each other where they focus their attention a lot, right? So, for example, when quite often the very powerful trick right there is you go in with the run by as a Zerg, then you move the screen of Terran back to the run by, and that's when you attack his main army at your doorstep. Right, so then he's not looking, and then he's losing entire army. That's, for example, one of the favorite tricks of Dark, and I see him constantly killing a lot of Terrans with it.
Yeah, it's absolutely devastating. And to be fair, like, I'm not even seeing that many run bys right now from Solar overall. Like, thinking back, right, I mean, this is probably one of the most effective ones we've seen so far, with just like little Ling run bys. I mean. Other than that, I'm not sure if it's because Cure is just so on top of things with his defense, or if it's just because Cure is keeping Solar that busy on his own side of the map.
I think both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just very difficult to run by when there's too many vacs just waiting to kill your stuff, right?
Yeah.
On one hand, and look at the wall at the third base. Look at the reaction times of Cure. The tank in the main base. How are you gonna get it? And it's covering 3/4 of Terran base, right? So
yeah, it's really good.
But this run by is pretty scary. This could actually deal a lot of damage, and supplies are getting really good for Zerg. So Solar, I think, in decent position this game.
There's another attack being set up, but it looks like, you know what, Solar should have more than enough to really immediately push this backwards.
Yeah, he's also getting Vipers right now, and Ultra is covering. So this time the timing of teching to Hive was really good. Ultras are gonna come out probably very soon. So there's the first Ultra is already going in. So and Cure, because of all of this run bys, he's really struggling to establish the fourth base. This is 11, and this is 10:30, and the fourth base is still not there. So I would say Solar is playing this out really, really well. Even though these run bys could have been more dangerous, they still did the job.
Yeah.
But this is very bad for Solar right now. The Marines are killing a lot of links, but still, this is not enough to.
Needs a lot more of those trades, you'd say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Manually detonating those banelings there. Oh, that's sick. Some pro gamer moves right there.
Yeah, man.
Jeez Louise. This is how quick you have to be on that as well. That's crazy, man.
Very quick, very quick. And it's not even being in the quick of fingers, which obviously it is to a little bit as well, but just, you know, you have to know you have to do it, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's not easy to, you know, invent this on the fly right away.
Exactly. And I would just accidentally select all of my banelings and be like, ah!
And then, so the banelings would detonate, and then the
Widowmine would still go
too
off.
late,
Yeah.
it would still go off, and you would lose all the links. That's how it would.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, that's really cool to
you
see.
can see that even with European pros, like this type of small moves, Koreans almost always execute well, while you will see Europeans quite often just fail at this and then laugh, you know. So
this is the bravest medevac I've ever seen with 18 HP. He's like, all right, here we go, boys. Another attempt at some aggression, and it does look like it's being thwarted quite nicely. A single Viking attempting to take on the hatchery here.
yeah, because right now Cure is struggling very heavily to take a fourth base. So
trying to distract Solar so that he cannot pay full attention to destroying the 4th base of Cure. So this is he doesn't really care about that Medivac, he doesn't care about that Viking. All he cares about is attention of Solar being somewhere else and his 4th living for 10 seconds more.
Yeah, that makes sense to me actually. Because honestly, he's just kind of mining off of 2 bases, isn't he, in a way? Oh no, actually, there's still a couple of minerals left in these 2 bases, but yeah, compare that to Solar, his income right now, or at least base counts. It's a bit ridiculous at the moment.
I totally agree right now. But, you know, are we going to see the repeat of previous game?
Maybe.
I think that's a thought that Solar has just had. I'm so glad.
Why won't you die?
Please
A nice link run by though into that third
wow.
base.
Yeah, this was very heavy damage.
And yeah, this is stuff that we didn't really see happen in that World of Sleepers game, right? Where
Yes,
he would have that frontal push, but he wouldn't really have links in the back as well.
Yeah. Solar played this really, really well. This was very, very good game.
Overall,
This also happens. That's what happens when you leave Zerg uncontested to some extent, right? So that's the power of 3CC, that you have such an insane economy. But on the other hand, you leave Zerg alone for 6 minutes or even more. So then Zerg can unleash the full power of Zerg, right?
Yeah.
Remax after remax. But Solar has burned his bank, so if he doesn't kill Cure right now, this is still open. But you would need some miraculous detonation.
Widowmine hits, not too bad.
But still, this is too much, I think.
I mean, he's doubled the army supply, right? Yeah, I mean, there's no more Widowmines really anywhere to be seen. This is gonna be it. Oh, massive connections on top of those SCVs, most of them going down. And GG is gold. There we go. Solar finally managing to get himself on the board here with a macro game as well.
Yeah, that's a close best of 9.
It really is, isn't it? We're just going, all right, one's ahead and we're tied up again. The other one gets ahead. Oh, no, well, never mind. We're tied up again.
Yeah, and
crazy.
it's also Solar managed to break Cure in macro game finally, right? So this was a basically, obviously, I would say, deciding game. If Solar lost this in macro, he's dead for sure. Right?
Yeah.
Right now he held his ground, and everything can happen now. He reclaimed some of his confidence right now in his macro skills.
Yeah.
And I think Cure might start to wonder what does he want. Yep.
Sorry, no, never mind. Sorry. I told him he has the map pick, but I forgot there's only one map left right now.
Yeah. Sure.
There we go. Okay. Too much stuff going on. But what were you saying? I'm sorry. I kind of just fumbled my way over your.
Yeah, no problem.
You were saying.
I was just saying that is it time for Cure to try something else? Is he losing confidence in his macro right now? Is he gonna try mech? Is he gonna, what is he gonna do right now? Or is he gonna stick to his, greedy 3CC into bio?
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, guys, I just want to take a quick look at overall. We do have the Matcherino code, of course. Do not forget. Let me see. Does this actually work right now? I did have it working previously. All right. Well, anyway, back to this screen then. All right. So in the top left, no, top right actually. For me, it's left. For you guys, it's right. Above the chat, there is a little link. There is an address that you can go to. It's the Matcherino page. If you head on over there, you will be able to add a little bit of extra money to the prize pool for these two players. I believe it does get split up like 70 to 30% payout. So you're going to pay for whoever you're more fan of. It doesn't just go all to the winner. It doesn't cost you a dime, right? You just gotta grab the code, put the coupon code in there, and together we will be able to boost this up quite a bit, actually, if we all help out. We would very much appreciate it. Of course, the two players would also very much appreciate it. And just kind of shows that we care. As well as another quick shout out to one of our sponsors, guys. It is 24 Hour Fitness. And 24 Hour Fitness has been absolutely dedicated to helping people achieve the overall bodies of their desire to have. And yeah, they are absolutely great with that. They will make a couple of fitness goals with you. They can help you make a plan as well. They have great coaches to help you out, kind of like Matisse is doing with StarCraft 2. But then, you know, it's for overall body health. I don't know. Do you help out with other sports coaching as well, Matisse, or just StarCraft?
Just StarCraft, and
StarCraft.
also a little bit of mindset, right? For
Mindset, yeah.
example, sometimes when it's offline tournament, when you lose, quite often it's because of you know, nerves and stuff like that. So it's also quite important to actually think about this too.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, they have over 436 locations, and they got weights, cardio machines, studio classes, and some awesome personal trainers, as I said. So go check them out, guys. If you wanna do some more overall fitness and stuff like that, why not do it at 24 Hour Fitness? Because you can go whenever you want, and they support esports. More importantly, they support StarCraft, so we should support them too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Zen is the map, yeah. I kind of expect Zen to be picked by Terran players more often than that it is, but maybe that's just me.
I kinda like Zen as a Zerg.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Please, elaborate.
Well, I mean, it's free for bases, kinda.
Mm-hmm.
The 5th is kinda easy to take too. It's open.
Okay.
You have decent defensive spot with those ramps. It's hard to get up them. I mean, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's big. It's also big. So
Big.
it's and also you don't have to take your 4th or 3rd as a triangle base, but you can take in a line 4 bases, and that's always very easy. It's much easier to defend medivacs and war prisms this way, right? So
Yep.
I really don't like expanding and not in a line, basically.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense to me. All right, and it's up right. We have the blue Terran. He is Cure, and his opponent in the bottom left, he is the red Zerg. He is Solar. I mean, so far already going absolutely eye for an eye here. Pretty much in most senses of the word.
Yes.
And yeah, alright, so the reason why I like Zen for Terran in a way is because there are so many like tiny choke points and stuff like that, so it feels like you can make a lot of work with your bio forces in a way, or even with siege tanks sieging up on certain locations, right? Nice high grounds around the place to kind of abuse. And not only that, but also a good amount of openings for, well, either Reapers or maybe even a little bit of a proxy here and there. Yeah, it just kind of feels like it does give those opportunities for Terran players to take those advantages on this map.
Yeah, I agree, of course. And this is not. I didn't suggest this is a Zerg map. I'm saying this is. Seems like a decently balanced maps that depends on the playstyle. Some people might like and some people might not. I kind of, that's how I would put it.
Probably. Right. Well, I'm just trying to verify, is like all my ideas crazy, or are they all right?
No, they all make sense, right?
Right,
Like for
nice.
example, that position where the Overlord is of Solar right now in front of the natural. If you set up tanks there, this is such a pain for Zerg, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Zerg has this chance of just surrounding this from 2 sides, right? So that's so this is nice about what's nice about this map is that you can you have both strong points for Terran and Zerg, and it's nice, right? Because we want balanced maps. We don't want Terran maps and Zerg maps. We want maps that both the Zergs and Terrans can find things that they like.
Well, I suppose that, you know, if you are the player, you probably want you do want to have the the map favor
Zerg
towards
mines,
yourself,
okay.
right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I agree. Yeah, but still, you want. I mean, for the health of the game, you
The
want
esports scene,
maps
yeah,
that are, yes, exactly. You want balanced maps.
absolutely. Maybe gonna kill off another creep to me here. That's just been happening continuously with this first Reaper.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a big deal. That's a massive deal because, well, basically on creep Zerg is a very very scary monster, and off creep, you know, it's a just nice puppy with nice eyes. That's it,
Yeah.
right? Okay, there we have a fusion core, so BC, maybe mech this time, right? So Solar beat
Immediately
Bio
scouted though.
Cure, yeah, yeah. Let's see whether Solar decides to go for a punishment because he's going for roaches, or is he gonna play macro? I would say there is a chance he's gonna try to punish, but let's see his lair timing, spire timing. By punish, I mean Corruptor, Roach, Ravager, Link.
So
all in.
at what time will we have to see the layer starts up against this like, you know, the fusion core? Because it does
Well,
feel
it
like you should kind of start right now, right?
Yes, yes, it shouldn't be. Yeah, it did. Yeah, yeah. Because you don't want to have corruptors too late because that puts too heavy strain on queens against PCs, pretty much.
Suppose against like 1 BC you might get away quite a lot more easily, right? Against the battle cruisers. We're not seeing any Yamato cannon yet on the way either, so
Yeah, but you get it slightly later so that you can build other stuff first. So
yeah.
it's usually timed with the second BC together. So I expect just 2 BCs, maybe 3 eventually with Yamato a bit later. And
Okay.
2 BCs plus Yamato against Queens, that's very powerful. So you want to have Corruptors on time there. But the thing is, this build in general is pretty greedy for Terran. He's gonna invest a lot into BCs, he invested into third base, he's gonna invest into a lot of infrastructure, probably mech as well. So Zerg has this extremely powerful timing where you just build, I don't know, 10 Corruptors, maybe 12, and you just max out on Roach Ravager Link on 66 drones. And then it's very hard to hold because you don't simply have enough stuff on the ground. And let's see whether Solar decides to go for it, or rather he plans to be just defensive and go for mana.
Actually fighting the roaches here with the Hellions, not something you see every day. At the same time, it's making it more difficult for these queens. They realize that they will have to stay in a certain location to keep blocking those Hellions. At least he's gonna have to keep making more roaches here. Battlecruiser at the same time in the main base being able to pick off already 6 workers here. Not too shabby.
Yeah, that's decent. Not impressive, but decent. With the speed of the third base from Cure, I would say this is nice for both players. Kinda like Solar is happy that he didn't lose more, but he's losing now, and Cure is happy that he killed something. I would say so. It's probably kinda even or something.
Yeah. Getting out of there as well before taking too much damage on that Battlecruiser.
I wonder if Solar forgot speed for roaches, or is he planning to just get as many corruptors as possible initially, and then go for speed? Probably. Well, I don't know how to say, but it seems to me like he's on. Let's see whether he chooses to attack or rather just defend. That's a very big question right now. It's still kind of undecided there, because his fourth base is very late. He's not going. Oh, now there's double Evo. So I would say this is probably macro play.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It does. Yeah. Makes sense. And again, like you said, again, we are seeing that the mech play coming out of Cure. Really, I'm not sure if you know of any others, but the only real Terran that I've seen on high level play battlecruisers into Bio has been probably Innovation. Other than that, I don't think I've ever really seen it happen that much.
It happens from time to time. I think I saw some people in Europe also do it, and I'm actually fan of it because the problem is right now that look, there's gonna be a couple of corruptors.
Yeah.
It could have been even more. It's only 3. It's actually a lot of BCs with Yamato, so these corruptors are not gonna be that scary. But imagine this is 15 corruptors right now.
Yeah.
Terran really struggles right now to deal with these corruptors. You know, if you go for Cyclones, you're gonna die to Roach Ravager push, and if you go Thors, you're gonna also this is also a chance, right? So
Yeah.
right now, since Solar just decided to play macro, this is fine. But I would say there might have been some, you know, opportunity to deal some damage and stuff. So
Okay.
and the nice thing about Marines is that they shred corruptors pretty quickly. So I'm not really against Bio after this.
Right. They do again good, pretty alright against Ravagers and Lynx as well. I suppose Roach is okay. You know, still the Roaches are a little bit more favored, right? But
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Against Marines, you mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
But then,
Well.
yeah, like you can still use them to kind of as a buffer and a little bit of extra DPS on top of them.
Okay, so 3 corruptors for free. That's really nice for
Problemo.
Cure. Yeah, so that's the thing. That's why I kind of like to be aggressive in this position, because these you want to force BCs to fight you, and because you want to force them to defend. But if you force them to, if they are free to roam like this, they're gonna kill all the corruptors eventually for free, pretty much. So
Yeah.
yeah, Yamato is gonna soon probably. Yeah, so this is every 2 minutes we have -3 corruptors, right? So that's not ideal.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And you know what, even now, I mean, maybe you should just TP this out, right? It's not really gonna get any more kills there.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, so
Right.
the pace of expanding for Cure is really nice. This is a 5th base barely finishing for Solar, while 4th is established for the Terran, so this is nice. And the question is, what is he gonna go for now? Okay, so it's Thor tank, and the question is, what's gonna Solar do against this? Is it gonna be Broodlords, Lurkers, or just mass mid-game units?
What do you think should be the right choice here? Because I do hear a lot of Zergs talk about the superiority of mech right now, right? A lot of them do seem to struggle with mech.
Yes, a little bit. Yes, a little bit. The problem I have is BC Thor. Yeah, like when so the way you deal with, so I'm not exactly sure. I see that people are using Lurker Viper here.
Yeah.
My default answer was always just Broodlords with Vipers, right?
Yeah.
And I would say they're still not that terrible as people think, because Blinding Cloud has bigger range than Force. Oh my god, this is not great.
It's a lot
yeah,
of
so,
dabblings.
yeah, donation.
Yep.
Yeah, so, well, let's see. I mean, that's why I'm also watching these games. I want to learn. I want to learn how to do it. It
Makes
seems
sense to me.
we have some investors coming.
I
rather
like
just staying on
Infestus actually with this. Well, against mech at least, I think Infestus is still pretty good just because of the neural parasite. Still very potent. Also against the battle cruisers, right? You can kind of just force the battle cruisers to not only engage you at a point, but even just kind of engage the enemy at some point, and then you just kind of fly into your army, pile them down. You can maybe get a couple of Hydras underneath them, or Corruptors on top of them.
I agree, but against mech you also need Vipers against tanks, right?
Blinding
if you don't
Clouds.
go for Broodlords, yes, if you don't go for Broodlords, you need to get Vipers. So this puts you in a situation where you have to learn to use 2 spellcasters at once, pretty much, which is pretty difficult, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible to do it for sure, and pros are doing it, right? But for example, imagine a situation I'm coaching someone from Platinum. I can't tell him, you know, just get
Use
Infestors and
both
get
of these.
Vipers.
Yeah.
So that's the, for example, struggle I have to think of as well.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so the most interesting part about this is, look, it's much less intense, and it's also much more thinking based. This is where it's bio, right? It's soft counters. So bio beats Link Bane, or Link Bane beats bio. But here it's all about the units you get, right? And micro is not that important, but it's important the way you arrange your army. And this army for Terran looks very, very scary, and for Zerg not at all.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, he is doing some pretty good moves, I do think, though. Saw that the battle cruisers were just solely defending that bottom right side. He's getting some damage dealt there. As he is still kind of forcing this mech army to slowly well, slowly engage instead of just running into a good location for him to take a fight there and take a couple of bases down.
Sure. But what's the counter tanks in this composition? It's one Viper. One Viper.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's not that many Hellbats right now, so maybe you can just get a good surround with Lynx on this army right now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh
Okay,
my
we
god, all those Banelings. Oh, did you see that? Oof.
Yes, yes.
All the Lynx are just running into this, you know what, this 3 o'clock location, kind of. Into
So,
oh.
so the way Solar decided to approach this is basically, I'm not gonna engage the death bot, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just counter everywhere else and rely on meeting. I don't know. I don't know if I like this. I mean, it might work, but it just feels so weak.
Ultimately, he will have to deal with this siege tank army. I definitely agree, and I don't think this is the way to do it. He's just kind of running straight forward into it. I definitely feel like you need to have some sort of flanking going on.
Well, he actually did a pretty decent job. He reduced Thor count, he reduced tank count. This army, this massive army, seems to be beatable right now on the left, right? This is
Yeah,
just
that's
4 or
true.
5 tanks. That's fine, right? But well, let's look at the income. It's slightly better for Zerg, but Zerg has kind of no army.
This is true. He has an okay bank, though, to be fair. Oh, Ichichi.
Well, yeah.
Wait, okay.
So we didn't manage to learn how to use his army, I guess. Then. Solar, please.
So it's like, alright! Just flips his keyboards up in the air. Never mind. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I don't think... You know what? It may have been still able to kind of make something happen there. Maybe it was just because he couldn't really break the siege tanks and the Thors that were encroaching on his location. And they were just getting reinforced.
Maybe if he just had some Vipers there. This actually, I mean, the idea of just avoiding the death ball and going somewhere else, it's been there since 2011, so it's a good idea. But eventually, that's the problem. That's what, like you said, you eventually have to deal with this, right? Isn't Solar peaking?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just all over the place right now. I'm just like, It's gonna go for sleepers again, actually. Bad memories for that one.
Yeah, the thing about sleepers right now is that obviously this was a great Zerg map, but right now the problem with this is that they replaced the Reach Vespin geysers with normal, and obviously the Reach ones were a bit broken, especially the one that you could take as a third base.
Yeah.
But the problem is right now you're taking bases and you are taking the bases with one gas. And for Terran, this is whatever, but for Zerg it's really painful because all of our good units are very gas heavy.
Yep.
So I'm not a huge fan of sleepers anymore.
Alright, that makes sense. There's still some other advantages, of course, but yeah, I can see that that is a bit of a problem. It's a bit of a weird one, right? That they wouldn't just add another gas geyser, I suppose.
Well, to some extent, you could just say, you know, Mattis, just adapt and just play more Lingbane based or something, right? And that's a good point. You probably should adapt to the map you are playing, right? But this influences my taste, I guess, right?
No, well, yeah, I can kind of get that, right? Because it does kind of force you into a certain playstyle, and at the same time, right, if that forces you into the playstyle, that your opponent realizes that you're more prone to go into that playstyle. So if you do that, it's easier for them to kind of counter you, right? And really
totally.
See what you're doing, and then just go for whatever beats that.
Okay, 1 second. This is my time for toilet.
all right. I'll do some epic introductions then, and buy as much time as possible. Alright. Here we go, guys. In the bottom left side, we have the red Terran player right now on match point. Can he take this one and the entire series with it? He is Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Cure. His opponent so far, maybe here and there a little bit on the back foot, but definitely striking back with a vengeance here and there in certain games. And even managing to, well, at least get one of those macro games in his favor, utilizing those run-bys and, well, great aggression as well. He is the Blue Zerg. He is TS Gaming Solar. Okay, so yeah, we are just gonna have to wait and see if we're gonna see a repeat of that previous time that we saw these two fight on this map. Definitely felt like Solar had a little bit of difficulty getting the finishing blow on the Cure. Cure just holding like an absolute beast the last time, of course. We saw him running around, kiting Ultralisk left, right, and center, and into all sorts of tiny little choky points. So maybe Solar finally gonna be able to maybe adjust his strategy here a little bit. Either in the way where he is going to be a bit more aggressive, perhaps that's a possibility, or perhaps he will be able to utilize some other type of tactry here to maybe make something happen in that sense.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's gonna be a rough one anyway.
Yeah, it's nice that we saw such a variety of plays. Right? Like best of 9 is a, I really like best of 9 format because this you really have to show that you're good at everything, right?
Yeah.
You cannot just you have to, you know, you have to cheese, you have to play macro, you have to play greedy, you have to play safe. If you don't, someone is gonna abuse you, right?
Yep. Yeah, no questions there for sure. There are certain players though that for some reason have been, like in the past, have been able to get away with it. Not really on the Korean level though, I suppose, but just being able to be really good at one certain style, whether it is being very aggressive or being kind of very macro-y, right? Like we've had certain Mac players, for example, that just how did people call it again? Just kind of make you play on their own level, and then as soon as you're on that level, they have just so much more experience that you're like getting dragged through the mud. But yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
Obviously this is, you know, hard to arrange for from practical perspective for a tournament organizer.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge fan of this format, and I hope we might even see more of it. But that's why I'm a huge fan of this Alpha Pro series, because it just really like after best of 9 you can tell you are better player or I'm better player, right? This is not, oh, you cheese me twice, you know.
You're kind of on equal footing. It happens too sometimes.
Okay, we have the same opening, so it seems the idea of Q right now is that it worked last time. Let's see if it's gonna work this time.
Adding that fusion core and the third base once again. Solar, on the other hand, this time around not adding the Roach Warren. Adjusting there a little bit. I'm not sure. Would you say that is to his benefit here?
Well, against BC into mech, you want roaches, I think. So I have a suspicion that previously Solar didn't manage to win with macro, so there's a chance he might do Corruptor, Roach Ravager, Link all in this time. Yeah, there goes the Roach one. Because I feel like that's the only thing that seems to be working for me against this really well, right? Because it's easy to say, you know, this is macro game, blah blah blah, but if Terran is playing such a, you know, greedy opening, this is greedy, this is fast, really fast third, this is teching to tier 3 right away, and then adding 5 infrastructure buildings with add-ons on top of them. So do you really want to let Terran have it? You know? Well, he's going for Painting Nest, so he is actually gonna let. That's because this is either this is some crazy mind games, but either, or he just scouted really well. I'm not sure. Like, was it possible to out of what he saw there? Was it possible to figure out its Steam? I don't know. I don't know.
Stim? What? Sorry?
Yeah, this is bio.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, so I'm just surprised. Like, so he scouted with one Zergling, and he saw factory with reactor, then he saw barracks with a tech lab, and then starport tech lab. I'm not sure if that's enough to, you know, 100% confirm this is bio, but I guess he guessed really well, or reacted really well, and we have BC into bio. So that's I like it. So let's see how it's gonna play out.
I think you gotta put the microphone a little bit closer again, by the way. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
There
Sorry.
yeah, all good, all good. I think it just slumped away over time there a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
All good, all good. Anyway, yeah, the battlecruiser so far not getting as much damage as it did the previous time. Hellions, actually, there's so many Hellions. Do you think that's just as well a little bit of a mind game trying to make Solar believe that it is in fact a mech play, or?
No idea.
No
No
idea.
idea. It
Right.
seems Solar is reading this well. Now the question is, the big question is what's gonna come out of Fire, because normally you want Corruptors if there's a larger number of BCs, because Mutas are surprisingly bad against BCs. But there's only one BC, especially without Yamato, then Mutas are pretty nice consideration here.
Yeah.
There's no almost Terran is usually struggling to build medivacs there, and everything is very late, so you have time to get these Mutas. So yes, it's actually Mutas. So Solar is reading everything just really, really well. So this is looking good, unless he's gonna take damage from this, because BC into bio is not really that well mapped out yet. So Zergs get quite often surprised by the timing of the pressure. But it seems Cure decides to go back, because most likely because he saw Mutas coming, so he doesn't want to lose the only unit he has right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
And these Mutas are gonna probably cause him a lot of trouble. Although he's kinda ready, right? With turrets, yeah. But this is some Marines for free, maybe 2 reactors for free, maybe 3 maybe something. So this adds up, and especially the biggest problem is that it's very APM intensive for Terran to deal with this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the battlecruiser does help out a little bit here in this situation.
Sure.
You know, I really do appreciate that he didn't just sacrifice that battlecruiser. He's just keeping it in his base now and using it as a defense against those mud-muds. So, yeah.
Well, let's see. Is Link Bane gonna be ready for this? This is only 8 Banelings, but this is a lot of links. But this is a lot of Hellbats, and against Hellbats you kind of need a lot of Banes, so let's see. It's again...
8. 15 on the way, though.
Okay, 15 on the way, so that's nice. Okay, let's see.
Nice surround setup as well, it looks like.
Looks pretty good for Zerg, I think, because it's still on creep. So let's see what's gonna happen. He's probably ready to attack.
It's gonna take a long time before this creep recedes.
Yes, exactly. And Cure has half of his army at home. So, but Solar, this is also kind of interesting dynamic here. Solar is almost predictable with his run-bys. He always does them. So Cure leaving army at home was anticipating it. So if Solar decides to attack his entire main army, then it will be half army of Cure versus full army of Solar. But yeah, so now. But since he ran by it, all the links get caught, and yeah, so this is very difficult to, predict what's gonna happen, but it's good to be unpredictable. Sometimes go for run by, sometimes go for a full attack on the Terran army, because that's difficult for Terran to deal with.
And again, he's going for the run by one more time here. I mean, Cure just posturing here in the middle of the map. I do feel like his time of just being able to sit here is kind of running out, right? I mean, more and more links are being made, more Banelings, more Mutalisk too. He's dealing with the run-bys though continuously.
Yeah, and he managed to establish a 4th base reasonably safely. So he's in decent spots, but Solar is also getting Hive, so Ultras probably are coming soon. But this lack of creep in the middle is very, very painful for Solar.
Yeah, definitely a little bit worrisome. He is trying to get it around the other edges of the map here, except for maybe at the top. I mean, that is something that could help him out a little bit more here than in this situation, but again, a really big run by actually. Most of the Mutas being caught out of position, a lot of them falling there. The links, once again, not really finding any damage as this, you know what? Cure just has the entirety of the middle of the map now.
Yeah,
Moving
not
back and
cleaning up
forth.
that middle army was a big deal because right now Cure managed to secure the middle of the map and he's at doorstep of Solar. If the tank starts shooting at the hatchery, that's definitely a trigger for Solar to move in with everything. And that's gonna be a fight off creep, which is never good for Zerg.
It looks like both of them attacking at the same time here. Banelings rolling into that mineral line of that fourth base. A lot of SCVs finally do manage to fall, get some damage done with those the Ling run by, even the planetary here, but I mean he still has a big Terran force to deal with at the front door. His own base also going to fall.
Yeah, but losing the fourth base for Cure is a big deal, but also Solar is losing his own fourth, so this kind of equalizes blow for blow, but Ultras, but oh my god, he
What's...
lost every single Muta, so that's a very big deal.
I don't know, it's just that, I might be wrong, but overall we've been seeing this happen quite a bit today from Solar. I'm not sure what exactly is happening. He might just not be in the perfect mind state anymore.
Well, this is such an action-packed game that it's just very difficult to keep up, you know? This is for...
True.
He's still at 450 APM, so it's not like he's slow. But
No,
yeah.
for sure. It's just I don't I'm not used to seeing Solar running Mutalisks over Marines more often in a series, you know.
Yeah.
Looks like
Okay,
he
so
might finally be able to kind of hold here. Only
yeah,
one siege
Ultra's
tank remaining.
transfusion is pretty strong. So and he managed to rebuild the Baning Nest. So and he still has 14. So it's 4 base Zerg against 4 base Terran. Actually 5 base soon. So it's looking better and better for Cure, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with that +3/+3 about to finish up here for QO and nowhere in sight for Solar, not even on the production tab here. Definitely feels like that is gonna give Solar or QO a couple of options to trade out really efficiently.
Yep, let's see. The chitinous plating is done too, so the ultras are pretty good. But we see what Cure can do with his micro, with his units. So I think Solar has to step up his micro of Ultraling Bane if he wants to have a chance now.
Yeah.
And this massive army at the bottom is pretty scary because his goal right now is to starve the Zerg, so he's gonna kill the bases, and both bases that Solar is taking right now are without creep, so most likely the fights are gonna be pretty efficient for Terran.
Again, perhaps, you know what, those lurkers may be a good choice in these situations, right? To kind of make it more difficult for the Terran to engage, and you don't have to chase as much as you do with the Ultralisk and the Banelings when you're on this low on creep. But yeah, 2 Medavacs also going into the main base. It looks like Viking or Corruptus and a Viper are there to kind of meet it, but oof, yeah, right. So that does get cleaned up. The bottom side though is still very much under threat. Quite a lot of Lings are here trying to set off those Widow Mines, but Louise.
Yeah. This micro cure is so insane. Always abusing choke points, always splitting super well, always fighting off creep if he can. So nice, so nice. Everything is just so on point. This is
and with his Medavacs on low energy, just moving backwards, only one stim, and getting those other Medavacs. You know what? Now I can heal up again. Going back in.
Yeah, that's a very important skill to learn when to engage and when to not engage, you know, or when to attack and when to defend. And
for sure,
Terrans generally tend to be overly aggressive, and maybe Zerg's overly defensive. And in this case, wow, this position is pretty crazy. You don't want to go up there, Solar.
But to be fair, though,
you have to, right? If you want to save them.
Yeah, for sure. But honestly, I do feel like this base has been alive for longer than I had anticipated it to be. He did manage to get a little bit of mining done there. Probably not as much as he would like to, but he's managing to kill off a little bit of the reinforcing units here.
Yeah, but look at the bank, right? And income too, right? It's higher for Terran, simple as that. So this Ramba is very important. If Solar manages to kill this base, it's gonna be very good because it's a base for base, right? So this is fair. But if this base stabilizes, then it's gonna be very tough because
Yeah, so Cure killed a base while holding his own. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 base Terran against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 base Zerg. So if you
Yeah.
play Ultralisk based compositions, you want to have higher income.
Yeah, that's for sure. And even then, like previously, right, the last time on Sleepers, he did have that higher income. He did have those Ultralisks as well. And he did manage to keep Cure his base count a little bit lower than this. And now, I mean, he doesn't even have that advantage.
Yeah, I think Solar is slowly giving up, like giving away these 2 Ultras, which were his only Ultras, is a very big blow. And I think he's mentally broken right now.
Does feel that way indeed. I mean, there's one big push now coming across the map, and I don't think that Solar has anywhere the units that he needs to really beat this backwards with. GG is called immediately. And yeah, congratulations to Cure, just being the beast that he is, once again managing to beat Solar with, you know what, probably one of the best Zergs right now available. Yeah, not that many, I'd say, that are better, truly. Maybe a handful.
Yeah, we
yeah.
might have, you know, 2, 3 Zergs better, like a Rogue maybe and Dark, right?
Yeah.
But that's but Solar always has been this almost best Zerg,
Yeah.
but close but not enough.
Yeah, for sure.
But this is another, I think, series that shows how good Cure has become. I think he is third on Aligulak right now in the world, which is very, very impressive. And yeah, this was extremely good series. I'm sad that I didn't manage to learn how to beat late game mech, but still definitely very, very fun to watch. ZvT has always delivered, I think, one of the most interesting matches.
Yeah, for sure. It feels like kind of like one of those movie vibes, right? The humans versus the aliens that are the slimy aliens in a way. It's always it always delivers in a way.
Yeah, and it's always extremely action-packed. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's fighting in 3 locations at once, run-bys, all that jazz, you know.
All right. So, I quickly want to say congratulations, of course, to Cure. Thank you, Alpha X, for putting up these events and letting us participate in the casting as well. Thank you, Matisse, for joining me today in the casting. I learned a lot from you and very much appreciate all your insights. And yeah, one more thing as well, guys. We do have more games upcoming on this channel. Next Saturday at 7 PM KST, we have Zest versus TY. And on Sunday, we will, well, at 8 PM KST, we will have Sue versus Innovation. So if you're a fan of either Zest or TY or Sue and Innovation, make sure to check those out as well. Should be absolutely lovely. Some more ZvT and also some CV or PVT.
Yeah, these sounds like a really good games too.
Yeah, and again, best of 9, so you're gonna have a lot of games to be watching and analyzing and all sorts of stuff. Alright, anyway, also we have the Younglings coming up as well. That will be on the Twitch for Alpha X. If you want to keep up to date with that one, make sure to follow us up on the Alpha X SC2 channel on Twitter or wherever really. You can join the Facebook as well, I suppose. I don't hang around there as much, but we have it, so I'm pretty sure we post there too. Alright, anyway. Yeah, Matisse, anything you want to say to kind of close things off here?
Yeah, thanks a lot for listening to me talking. And thanks, Kozan. It was really fun with you. Super cool. And if you guys are interested maybe in my coaching, then hit me up. I coach anyone who basically wants. I have a little bit experience with quite big experience actually with pro players and also with just normal guys. So hit me up and then we can for sure figure something out.
Cool. Alright, that's really cool, man. Yeah, alright, so that is going to be it. Another shout out, I guess, to our sponsors, GameStop and 24-Hour Fitness. Hit those guys up. This is also the last time, actually, guys, that we do get to mention that there is a Matcherino code and page waiting, so we can make use of that. If you still want to give a little bit of extra money to these players, make sure to help them out that way. It doesn't even cost you anything, so we may as well put a little bit of effort after those games, right? They truly delivered in this best of 9, and they really deserve it. So, alright everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a good one, and we will see you next time.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.